And from this line, there is going to be an eternal kingdom that comes, which you and I will now become part of. Even though King David is 3,000 years ago, God's kingdom begins at this moment. And he is anointing this king. Now, this king is from the little town called Bethlehem. If you read through your scriptures, you notice that Jesse is the grandson of both Ruth and Boaz. Has anyone ever read the book of Ruth? We see the prophecy of Ruth here played out. In Ruth 4:11, you get this picture of this idea that the Messiah will come from her line, even though she is a Gentile. But because she's faithful to the Lord, you get this picture, this promise that God ends up giving. And so you have this family that is going to have, unlike Saul, who was a Benjamite, this family that is from the tribe of Judah, because we know even from scriptures into Genesis that the Messiah will come from the tribe of Judah. God is now setting up for himself. We know that the prophecy says that the one who is born in Bethlehem will become the King of Kings, the Messiah, the anointed one. The very word that we use to describe Jesus as Christ in Greek, Messiah in Hebrew, both mean, when you say Jesus is the Messiah or Jesus is the Christ, did you know that that word actually means anointed? That he is the one who is anointed. And so we have David here who is now being anointed as king, but it is through the descendant of David that God gives the eternal covenant. What is the eternal covenant? It's a promise that comes to David that says, from your line, David, there will be always one who sits on the throne for all of eternity. So you stop and you read that and you're wondering, you're like, well, how is God going to create an eternal kingdom where the king is eternal?